That is one of the worst performances I have seen in the Premier League this season. And I am absolutely fuming with that performance. Welcome to the player ratings. Welcome to the player ratings, where it finished Fulham 1, Forest 0. And I'll tell you now, my head is hot. I probably should have taken a 5-minute break before doing this, but I don't care. I am going to kick off at those players. Those players are a goddamn disgrace and a joke. So let's just get the admin stuff out the way. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you check out the sponsors, OK Jerseys. That will cheer you up. You can get your football tops for 15 quid. Use code FFTV, get a further 8% off. Scan the QR code or click on the link. Okay, let's talk about this game. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the team selection. Let's start there. I think to a T, every single Forest fan looked at that team and thought, you know what? That's a strong team. That's a decent team for the players we've got available. But there are huge mistakes within the setup of that team. Savona had an absolute stinker. Absolute stinker. How he made it on the pitch as long as he did is embarrassing. There's nothing wrong with selecting... What the hell did I just press? There's nothing wrong with selecting the right team and then that team not working out. Paper isn't one on football, but a manager has to be smart enough to know when to make changes. Savona coming on in the second half is a joke. Douglas Luiz should have been hooked at halftime as well, and I rate that guy. And what did Gibbs White do in that game? And secondly, tactically, even though he selected the right players, he's played them the wrong way round. Why was Douglas Luiz the deepest man? We just saw, against Spurs, Anderson playing deeper, controlling the game and releasing Sangare in that 8 position higher up the pitch. Douglas Luiz is a better 8 than Sangare. And he was splitting the centre-backs and picking the ball up there and then just passing it sideways. Why tactically it was so wrong? Hudson-Odoi was completely anonymous in that first half down the left-hand side. We didn't get Nico Williams into the game at all. Fulham offered absolutely nothing. And this is nothing against Fulham. They offered nothing. That first half was a championship level first half. Balls long from both teams, passed round the back sideways, midfields overlooked. And then when we saw Anderson on the ball, I hate to say this, Anderson was appalling today. His passes through the lines was so overhit that at least 2 or 3 of them was so badly overhit and so heavily overhit that they went out for goal kicks. And he didn't learn from it. And then Douglas Luiz started doing the same thing. It was an embarrassment of a game, a complete embarrassment of a game. And then what happens? Savona gets cooked on the right-hand side just before halftime. Douglas Luiz gets the tackle in and then stupidly with his other leg swipes again. I think it was Kevin Can't Wait. And then knocks him over. It was a soft penalty in terms of the contact, but it was a stupid penalty to give away. And yet again, we have seen either Forest concede early in the first half or late in the first half several times this season, which shows you a lack of concentration from the players. Yes, there was 5 or 6 minutes added on, but you keep your concentration until the last second. That was shocking from Douglas Luiz. Absolutely shocking. But Savona does not get away without the criticism for the build up to it. It's so infuriating. This is not Man City, who we've got next week. This is Fulham, who we would have overtaken. But yet again, in these important games, these pivotal games, as I call it, Forest just shit the bed. And that's exactly what we did today. So you expect in the second half, all right, come out guns blazing. Fulham go into a low block. Forest can't break them down. Anderson still pinging balls out of the pitch. You got Douglas Luiz still on the pitch doing nothing. And then you got Gibbs White. I don't know what he did today. The only thing I remember, he attempted a bicycle kick while he was offside. And would it surprise you that he got damn well slices that into the stands? Like, he can't shoot standing up facing the right way, but he thinks he can put a bicycle kick into the back of the net. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Igor Jesus, he held the ball up really well. You know why? Because it kept getting pinged long from John to him, or Milenkovic, or Murillo. He held the ball up. He was fouled about 1,000 times that bold-ass stupid ref ignored. That ref was shocking tonight, but the ref is not the reason we lost the game. But then Igor Jesus had 2 good chances in the first half and didn't score them. A silly pass across from Robinson. And this is the thing that annoys me, man. When oppositions make mistakes, we hardly ever punish them. Robinson's pass to Igor Jesus should have led to a better chance. Anderson did well to block that one for Fulham. And then Igor Jesus with the ball slightly behind him, he doesn't even hit the target. His hold-up play was good. His finishing was poor today. Was poor. And then you think to yourself, you come on in the second half. All right, Dyche is going to make some changes. There is no way on this planet, in this dimension, that Savona can come back onto the pitch. He's back on the pitch. And then we don't see what it felt like forever. I need to check what minute substitutes were made. I need to check. 72nd minute, losing away from home before that idiot made a substitution. What was he seeing? And that substitution was to bring on Taiwo, who I don't think has scored since he was given a tap in by Ward-Prowse against Brighton, which he shinned in anyway. And Taiwo is the one who's going to come on and save us. Was there any of you in the chat that were feeling confident that when Taiwo comes on, he's going to be the savior? Like, seriously. Taiwo comes on. McAtee comes on. You know what? McAtee was worse than Gibbs-White. And the bar isn't exactly set high. McAtee, I'm sorry, I've tried. McAtee is utter shite. There's no other way to describe him. He's too weak on the ball. He can't pass a ball. He did nothing on that pitch. I'm sorry. I'm done with him. I've given the guy so many chances. I've been more lenient to him than anyone else. He is utter crap. Man City have put our pants down on it. And then Dominguez was okay. And then who else came on? Zinchenko comes on. Man, Zinchenko comes on. And I'm looking at it thinking, what the fuck is he going to do, man? What is he going to do? I'll tell you what he did. He underhit all his crosses and then he overhit his crossfield balls out of play. He's so slow. He got chopped up by Adama Traore. The only blessing I take from this game is that Adama Traore didn't score or assist. Otherwise, I'm done. I'm done in this YouTube space. I really am. And as Brett says, Bakwa, who has been crap when he's played before his injury, why couldn't he have come on? Why couldn't he have come on? There's just so many times over the years with Forest where there's been, if we go back to the championship, there's been those games where you're like, all right, if Forest win this one, we're suddenly, 1 point out the playoffs. Or if we win this one, we're playing the team that's 5th in the playoffs, and then we shit the bed. And there's been so many times in the Premier League where you're like, okay, if we win this one, like tonight, we leapfrog Fulham. Fulham have now jumped to 13th in the league. They're 13th in the league. They're 10 points clear or something like that of West Ham. We would have been 8 points clear of West Ham. But no, we just can't do it. And what annoys me more than the crap performances today is the fact that there was no fight or urgency in that second half to go and get a goal or go and get a result. There was absolutely nothing. If someone had covered up the scoreline, I would have thought Forest was 7-0 up. I would have thought we were 7-0 up, or that it was the summer and we're playing a preseason friendly outside of that white van in Portugal with the rose bushes. It's so bad. Tonight's performance was horrific. It is yin and yang, night and day, compared to how we played against Spurs. And the real question has to be, are Spurs the worst team in the league? Because if we look that good against Spurs and we look that crap against the mediocre Fulham club, then what the hell are we doing here? Seriously. Let's get into the player ratings, man. I'm freaking fuming with that shite, man. I really am. I really am. John Victor had absolutely nothing to do tonight. Nothing. Fulham, I don't think Fulham had a shot on target outside of the penalty. In fact, let me check. Oh my God. Fulham had one shot on target, which was the penalty. One shot on target, that was the penalty. John had nothing to do. His passing was okay and his long balls were all right. He had nothing to do. That makes this result even worse. Fulham didn't bombard Forest. Forest weren't unlucky, or, you know, Fulham didn't deserve the win or whatever. It was such a bad performance. And Fulham had one shot on target, and that was the penalty. I don't know what to give him. I don't think he did anything wrong. I'm going to give him a 6. Where the frick is this? I'm going to give him a 6. I don't know. I don't know. He saved that one shot that was given as a goal kick. Yeah, he got a fingertip to it, but it was going wide. It was going wide. Let's see what you guys gave him, man. I'm sorry about the rank, guys, but I am so annoyed because winning this game changes the complexion of the freaking season. And we just can't do it because we are a bunch of fucking clowns. That's why. That's why. You guys have gone a 5.8 on him. You know what? I really hate this season. I just give me 17th in the Europa League and let's write it off and just move on to next season, man. Honestly. This pile of shit, Savona. I'm giving him a 0. He is so slow. He is so slow, man. He got cooked for pace so many times at right back, man. So many times. I'd have played Einar illegally, unregistered. Einar was playing in the youth team tonight. And don't think I've forgotten my receipts on you lot, who 72% of you would start him ahead of Einar and make Einar earn his place back in. No. This guy is the Italian Dan Burns. That's what he is. The Italian Dan Burns. Wow, you guys gave him a 3.8, man. 3.8. Rob's clips could be epic in a few weeks. Wolfie, he had a bad game. Stop being dramatic. How am I being dramatic? He was shit. I've scored him shit. It's as simple as that. Dan Burn, if he can do, yeah, Dan Burn's probably better. But anyway, I'm giving him a 0. He can go fuck himself. Milenkovic. I don't think Milenkovic had a great game. I don't think he was that composed at the back. There was a chance that came off him that put them through, that Savona couldn't catch up with Kevin Can't Wait. And they nearly scored from it in the first half. We recovered it on the edge of the box because Kevin decided to slow himself down. But I don't think Milenkovic had a great game either. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 for me. They are all ones. That's just for turning up at Fulham. They didn't turn up, Thomas. They didn't turn up. They literally didn't turn up. And I'll tell you what, we're probably going to lose to Man City. We'll probably lose to Everton. And then who we got? Villa or something. And when it comes to that West Ham game, again, it will be one of those pivotal games. And we'll shit the bed in that game. We will. Ironically, many managers sitting above us would love to have our squad on paper, especially De Silva. Yeah, Marco Silva, man. But I was told Dyche is better than him. What do I know? You gave him 5.7. That's quite high. That's quite high. It's quite high. Murillo for me is probably the only one who looked like he was actually trying. And am I really at this desperation stage where we're talking about trying on a football pitch? Now, I thought some of his passes were good, but some of his longer passes weren't that great. But he was the best, probably close to man of the match. Now, that ain't saying much. I think just freaking tying your shoelaces up tonight the right way round would get you man of the match. But I just thought his long passes were not good, but he was pretty reassured at the back. I'll give him a 5. Probably as high as I'm going to score anyone tonight. See what you guys did. You can get your votes and keep your votes coming in. By the way, please do hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new. It's free to do your votes. And if you're watching later, get your man of the match in. Or tell me who you thought the worst player was. Anyway, 6.3 from you guys. And then who was that left back? Oh, Williams, wasn't it? Look, for me, Nico Williams was not involved in that first half at all. Fulham were purposely targeting our right back side, which meant when Forest recovered the ball, we were more so attacking down the right-hand side than the left. I don't think we got Nico Williams into the game enough. And to be honest, he probably had the best shot of the game. Well, actually, Murillo had the best shot of the game. But him and Murillo were our 2 shots on target. That's it. Our left back and our left centre back are the only players out of the 14 or 15 that went onto that pitch that had a shot on target against a team that offered absolutely nothing. Where were the midfielders? Where were the attacking players? That's an embarrassing stat in itself. Second half, he was more in the game. First half, we secluded him from the way we were playing. Why does Wolfie show Savona on the right if he always plays on the left? What the hell are you talking about? I'll give Nico Williams a 5 as well. You guys went 5.5. I think you lot are being generous with your scoring tonight. I really do. Anyway, let's go into the 2 midfielders. They were probably between them the 2 worst players on the pitch. Douglas Luiz, his passing was off. He was playing too deep. It should have been Anderson playing that deep role. And in general, I just thought he looked slow and lethargic and didn't move the ball quick enough. Sideways, backwards, and obviously we've discussed the penalty. I thought he had an absolute stinker tonight, and he should have been hooked at halftime. I'm sorry, and I would still buy this guy, but I'm telling you, man, stinker today. Wolfie, man, 4 strikers, 3 goals. Dyche doesn't fancy L. What's L? Louise is done, don't want to sign. Just a quick YN in the chat. Would you sign Douglas Luiz now after tonight? Louise and McAtee are biggest disappointments this season. And don't forget N'Doye. You could say Bakwa as well. Yeah, we miss Sangare, man. But you know what? It's not fashionable to say Sangare is a very good player or that Sangare has performances. Look at the difference in steel when Sangare is on there. I hope freaking they crash out the Ivory Coast. I hope they crash out the AFCON, sorry. And Sangare comes back as quick as possible. And you know why? He's probably going to come back with freaking some illness again. Like, what did he have last time? Malaria, wasn't it? And that was him done for the season. So just as he hits his purple patch, he's going to come back, probably injured or his hamstring goes or something. Anyway, Douglas Luiz is a 2 at best for me. Second worst player on the pitch after Savona. Over 600 of you in here. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Let's see what you guys do. I think you guys are going to be brutal on the money. Wow, you guys are well generous today, man. 3.7. That's high. That's high. Let's talk about Anderson. Now, I will not slay Anderson because of how good he's been this season. However, what I will say is outside of the Spurs game, Anderson hasn't been that great for a couple of games. His passing has been off, and sometimes he's doing a bit Gibbs White-like and overplaying it in our own half. I think he's become a little bit overconfident, and I understand why, but I just think outside the Spurs game, probably for the last 2 to 3 weeks, he ain't been great. Now, is it over tiredness or overplaying? Maybe, I don't know. But his passes today were so bad. I actually think Gibbs White probably completed more passes than he did. I'm not going to say much more on Anderson because I fully rate him. But why Anderson wasn't the deeper of the two, that's on Dyche. That's on Dyche. But Anderson just needs to go. You know what was so good about Anderson was everything he did was simple. And you know the famous quote, isn't it? Football is a simple game complicated by idiots. And you know, this is what was, I'm not calling him an idiot. I'm just saying that's the quote. But where Anderson was at his best is when he would win the ball back and release it quickly. Or he would go on a little run because the space was there. Or he would make a good pass out wide and move it quick. Tonight, everything was slow and everything was overhit. So I'm sorry I'm giving him a 2 today. I thought absolute stinker from him. Absolute stinker. You guys are going to 4. My God, you lot are scoring people. Am I being harsh, chat? Am I being harsh? Anyway, oh my God, Gibbs White next, man. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did. His passes were crap. His shooting was crap. He actually had a shot from 25 yards out and he couldn't even hit the target. Remember, 4 is awful. Okay, I hear it. I hear it. I just think Gibbs White doesn't look like he can be asked. I just don't think he looks like he could have been asked. We've not scored at Craven Cottage since we've got promoted. I thought the aggregate was 9-1. Freaking bicycle kick, innit? Gibbs White was one of the best out there tonight, to be honest. Really? No, you're not being harsh. You're giving constructive criticism and feedback. Big up to you, man. I don't know, man. I just don't feel like he can be asked. And I feel that attitude is playing out on the pitch. Harsh, because you're still under the illusion we can beat these bottom half teams and expect them to be decent. Bro, but the Fulham were crap. Fulham were crap. Again, it's a bit similar to what Anderson's done lately. Gibbs White has been doing this for years now. Gibbs White thinks he's better than he is. I'm just going to say it straight. He is not as good as he thinks he is. I don't think he's in the top 5 of our best players. I think Einar's better. I think Murillo's better. I think Milenkovic is better. I think Anderson is better. I think Chris Wood is better. I think Nico Williams is better. Who else would you say is a regular starter? I think Sangare has been better. I'm not sure he's in the top 10 of our best players. I don't know what to score. I'm going to give him a 4. I'm sick of talking about Gibbs White's mess. We should fucked off to Spurs. So you guys gave him a 4 as well. Problem is, his value is probably worth about 5 mil now. But we always win. Hutchinson on the right. Hutchinson was okay because at least he tried to take on Robinson. But Hutchinson's crosses were either really good or really crap. His corners were too close to the goalkeeper. Some of his crosses were over here. And some were slightly behind the play. 4.5 after your rant. I felt like every now and again he looked like he was about to explode into life and then he never did. It wasn't his best performance, but he wasn't the worst player out there. Like, at least he tried to take on the fullback. At least he was looking to cross it in. He actually played a nice ball to Igor Jesus in, I think it was the second half, where he did a couple of the Fulham players, put it to Igor Jesus, and Igor Jesus didn't control it, and then no chance was created. I'm going to give him a 5, man. I'm going to give him a 5. I thought one of the better of a bad bunch today. At least he tried. At least, as in, when I say at least try, let me make it clear. By default, any player that doesn't try should not be playing the next game. It's a minimum requisite that a person who's getting paid between 50 and 200 grand walks out onto a pitch and tries. Okay. So I don't even like bringing this whole try thing into it. But when I'm saying about him trying, I'm talking about he tried to make something happen. If that makes sense. So I'm giving him a 5. You guys gave him a 5.4. Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi. Where is he? Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi. Look, Hudson-Odoi is really playing with my emotions. I saw signs of life from him against Spurs, and I thought, you know what? He's starting to look like that player again. But I haven't seen signs of life from him from Man City last season to Spurs last week. And then he's reverted to type. He slows the game down too much, man. There's a couple of counterattacks we had in the game, and when it came to him, it just overslowed us down. And I just don't know why he does that. He still clearly wants to cut in too much. Does that mean the Spurs game was not the norm and everything else was? I'm just not convinced by him. I thought he was, like I said earlier, the left side was completely missing in the first half because Fulham forced it down our right-hand side. But even when he got involved in the second half, I never really felt like he was going to do his man, get to the byline, get a cross in, find a Forest player, or spice it up and cut in. And I'm not that convinced on Hudson-Odoi anymore. Maybe I'm just angry right now because of how crap we were today. Giving him a 2, man. I'm giving him a 2. Hudson-Odoi saves it for the big games. Well, I'm sorry, if that's his attitude, then sell him. Every game should be a big game for every player putting on that shirt. It should be an honor to put that shirt on. Do we not have some young players to bring on? We could have brought on Bakwa. Dyche needs sacking 2 minutes after the last game of the season. New manager needed preseason. Bring me the manager that was in the other dugout, man. Bring him to me. He's available for free in the summer. Anyway, let's go on to Jesus. 2 parts of the game for Jesus. Hold-up play was excellent. The ref was criminal against him. He was fouled at least, I would say, nearly double digits. His shooting was horrific today, and his ball capturing when he needed to trap the ball was extremely poor in the box. This is what I'd describe Jesus' game. With his back to goal, I think he's one of the best back to goal strikers in the league. Facing the goal, I'm sorry, I expect him to hit the target with that first chance. And I expect the one that came across from Hutchinson for him to get it out of his feet and control it quicker and put the shot on. So back to goal, he's brilliant. Facing goal, not that great tonight. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I'd summarize his performance tonight. And also, he doesn't get much else support, man. Like, he had one decent length shot. And that wasn't him, that was Gibbs White. And him and Gibbs White need to change their hairstyle, man. One of them needs to shave their hair off. It's a nightmare to commentate on them because they're always changing their positions and stuff. I'm going to give him 4.5. Something like that. 4.5. Give or take. You guys are going to 4.98. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you're new. And let's quickly run through these subs, man. Grumpy Old Reds will be tomorrow night, by the way. Okay, who came on? Taiwo. It's probably gonna annoy Ez, right? Because Taiwo's Ez's boy, and Taiwo went on a game scoring streak of 7 about 100 years ago for us. Taiwo is one of the worst footballers I have ever seen in my life. I would not play him in my under 15s team. I don't think the guy has ever made contact with the football with the inside of his boot or his laces. He is so crap. I just want him gone. I just want him gone. He is so bad as a footballer. Go through his goal catalogue and see how many of them he shinned in or bobbled in. I mean, look at remember his first goal against West Ham for Forest, man? It was like shinned in, bobbled off him and went in, man. The one against Liverpool, he had to 1-2 it with the post because the man can't hit the ball without his shin. How is this guy playing for a Premier League team? How? He's so bad, man. He's so bad. I would take Rasmus Højlund over Taiwo. I would take Tesco over Taiwo. I would take Calvert-Lewin over Taiwo. I would take Richarlison over Taiwo. I would take... I can't even think of any other strikers. I would take Solanke over Taiwo. I would take Maguire over Taiwo. I would take Keenan Davis back over Taiwo. I'd just say terminate his contract. Terminate his contract. I'm giving him a 0. He is so shit. He is so shit. You guys gave him a 3.47. Would I take the lad? Big up, yes, man. I would take the crap over Taiwo. I really would. So shit, man. Who else? What other donkey came on, man? I can't even remember. McAtee. Oh my God, McAtee. I would... McAtee is so bad that I would take Taiwo over McAtee in the 10. That's how bad McAtee is. McAtee may go down as one of the worst signings we have ever made. And we signed Andre Silenzi, man. We signed Jesse Lingard. We signed freaking... Who else did we sign that's crap? The list goes on and on. We had Jason Lee up front. He's so crap. And that's it. I've lost my patience with him. Tonight was my cutoff point on McAtee. No more patience with him. He now has to prove to me that he is worthy of even being on the subs bench. Nah, man, Scarpa's better than him. Scarpa's way better than him. Shelby's better than him. I'd take Zinc back over McAtee. Bring me Zinc. Free Zinc, man. At least Zinc had nice hair. He's so... What are these duds that we have bought in this summer, man? McAtee, Odoi, Savona. Freaking... Who else? I can't remember who else we bought. We've bought players that I've forgotten that we've signed. Now, Man City... And the stupid thing is, Man City put a buyback clause in his contract. Why would they do it? Oh, he's a 0. He's so weak, man. He's so weak. 0. Donkey. 3 from you guys. How you guys got him to a 3? .1. You guys have scored him higher than the amount of completed passes he's had this whole season. Buyback clause is 30 quid. Why can't the players we sign? Freaking stupid Chelsea go and sign Cole Palmer from Man City, and they get someone who can score a goal, at least passable. You got Lavia, another one. He went to Southampton and then Chelsea. All these ballers. We go to Man City, man, and we get the hooker that's been passed around to everyone and just left on the side to rot. That's what we get, man. That's what we get. McAtee. Dominguez. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Dominguez didn't do anything, but he didn't offend me. He didn't offend me. He didn't do anything. Because he's useful, man. We got the Bonnie Blue of their academy. And this guy went to Sheffield, man. That should be an alarm bell in itself. He went to Sheffield. I don't know with Dominguez, man. I'll give him a 4. He was okay, but not exquisite. Where you guys going? 4.2. And then who comes on? Zinchenko, man. I hate this guy Zinchenko, man. He's an utter pile of crap. He's so bad, man. Look at the idiot. He's not even in the right place for the picture bit. I just please terminate his goddamn loan. Any manager that puts Zinchenko on should be sacked in the morning. I don't care if we sack Dyche tonight, hired Pep tomorrow, and he puts Zinchenko on the pitch, I'm Pep out. He's so crap. He's so slow. It's like the thing is, you know, Savona had to be hooked, and then you look in the bench, you're like, oh crap, Zinchenko would have to replace him? Is he better than McAtee? Oh my God, man. Like, we compare. Who's worse, chat? Zinchenko or McAtee? You know what? I'm now starting to think I was too harsh on Dan and Doi. At least he can kick a ball. Both. Legit question. Who has been worse for Forest, Zinchenko or McAtee? You know what? I'm probably going to say McAtee's been worse. You lot are split here, man. What you say? You can't say both. Stop cheating. Zinchenko scored an own goal against Burnley. Burnley, who have lost like 7 games in a row until they played Bournemouth. I'm giving this idiot a 0. I mean, he's always a default 0 from me. You guys go 3.1. I do agree. I actually think McAtee has been worse than Forest and Zinchenko. And then Callum Mwendo comes on. I feel sorry for Callum Mwendo. Just when he turned into a bit of form, scored a couple of goals against Utrecht or whoever it was. He then where are you, Callum Mwendo? No wonder you didn't get subbed on. You're probably hiding on the bench. There you are. I don't know. Did he even have a touch? I honestly didn't notice him, but I think there's still maybe a goal scorer in there. Wolfie is worse than all of them. I am, but I'll tell you what, I'd play better at left back than Zinchenko, and I've never played left back. How many of our new signings have been good? You know what, Tomster? That is an exceptionally good question. And I will be asking that question to the panel tomorrow night. I'll be asking the questions panel tomorrow night. Now, the fact that I'm sitting here thinking Callum Mwendo has been okay, when, if I'm being honest, he's been pretty shit all season, just tells you how bad we are right now. I'm just going to give him a 5 because, honestly, what did he get? 2 minutes? You guys give him 4.3. And then Dyche. There was absolutely 0 wrong with Dyche's team selection. 0 wrong. To a man, he selected the right players. The tactics were horrific. He went back to long ball football when he just saw us destroy Spurs, putting the ball on the ground and passing it around. His substitutions were so horrific in terms of the timing. And I don't even agree with the actual personnel. Bringing Taiwo on is criminal and a sackable offense. This is the thing, and I said it at the start of the video. You can praise a manager for selecting the right team because every single one of you, and me included, would have gone with that team. But as soon as you see it's not working, make the fucking changes, man. What did he say to them at halftime? Because I'll be honest with you, not too much changed in that second half other than Fulham going deeper and saying, you know what, this team's shit. They're not going to score against us. So we looked a little prettier because we had the ball. Where was him berating the players, telling them to get forward? And where is backward? Play backward for God's sake, man. Dyche, I am now convinced, is a Big Six opponent manager. And clench your butt cheeks when we're playing one of the other 14 teams. That's it. We played better against Spurs and Liverpool than we did against Brighton, Everton, and Fulham. He's got to get a 2. Fulham were terrible today. Terrible today. Cooper on steroids. And clear your fucking throat. Someone give him a tissue, man. I'm sick of watching him do this all the time with your nose, man. Get some freaking Beckonaise or a tissue. You guys giving him a 3.2. Guys, I don't even want to do a freaking man of the match. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know who's worthy of a man of the match. I just put it in the chat, or if you're watching later, chuck it in the comments. Honestly, that is one of the stinkiest games of football I've witnessed in the Premier League. Absolute stink fest. Would I say we're in a relegation battle? No. But what I will say to you guys is that was probably Dyche ball. I was hoping Spurs was Dyche ball, but you know what? Everton Mike warned me. He warned me. Anyway, I'm going to try and cheer you guys up. I'm going to send you over to the Spurs 5. Can everyone spam in their chat 3-0? And yeah, that might cheer you up because they're probably in meltdown. So go laugh at Spurs. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have Grumpy Old Reds as well. I'm done with football for today. Thanks so much for watching. Come on, you Reds.